back to the battle scene. At the same point as the beginning of the last battle scene sequence, like a do-over. All right, so we've we've seen Ravana die. All right, he jumped out of the way. He will wish for the rest of his life he hadn't. The shot was meant for him. He jumped out of the way. She got killed by a shot meant for him. All right. And now we've done all that. We've gone through space again, shown some freaky shit in space. You know, just for a transition. You know, like to cleanse the palate of what we just saw. And now we're starting over where we were, like a do-over. Here's the next verse of the song. Doris Day. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. While that's going on, Kang is leading Ravana. She's behind him. Just ahead of them, a green soldier fires a shot at Kang. Kang pushes Ravana out of the way, activates his force field, you know, because his force field, it would have like shocked her if it would have hit her. He pushes her down, you know, not very gently. You know, she might be thinking for a moment, she might be thinking he's fucking rude, but you know, he's got his reasons. And so he activates his force field, and the blast hits him in his force field. He's not harmed. Quit thinking. You know, a second's thought. You know, you can think of what to do and get it right, or you can or you can act impulsively what you think is right, but it turns out to be the worst fucking damn thing. The worst thing is what you did, and that's what happened to the other. That's what happened in the other scenario. This is a different scenario. He does his quick thinking worked for him instead of against him this time. Here's the Doris Day track is still playing Que Sera Sera as it hits him. This time, before, you know, we got to the Que Sera Sera part as the blast hit her. This time we're getting into the Que Sera Sera part. In the second verse, we're getting into the Que Sera Sera part as the blast hits his force field, and inconsequently, Kang kills the soldier. He extends his hand to Ravana, and she, you know, she's not mad. She knows that he has his reasons, and she smiles, takes his hand, and stands beside him. He and Ravana press forward in the battle. The Doris Day track is still playing. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. All right, transition to the space travel. During the space travel parts, the Doris Day track cuts off completely, and we're playing orchestra music of like a deep space theme. It's like da doom 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 doom. You know, like could cleanse the palate of what we just saw. More reverse space travel. This time we pass eternity and stop. He is a mortis, only he's made of stars and galaxies. I've changed. All right, I might as well tell you now. I changed the character. The Marvel has a character eternity. He's just a concept. He's not an actual character. I had the idea that he could be like the latter life Immortus. When Immortus achieves his destiny, he becomes. Never mind. I'm talking too much. He is Immortus, only he's made of the stuff I'm talking about here. This is mine. This is not Marvel's. I came up with this shit. I took crappy old kid stories of theirs and I made something good out of it. You see what I'm saying? This is the shit that they damn pissed on. And so I'm going to piss on them right back. Fuck them. He is a mortis, only he's made of stars and galaxies. He lifts his hands, and in the palm of each hand is a sphere, like an orb or a crystal ball. In the sphere on the left is a still image of the first scene where Ravana dies. In the sphere on the right is a still image of the second scene, the one where Ravana lives. I'm going to do my impression of Immortus as Eternity because he has dialogue here. not an actor. I'm just reading. Eternity. He's holding the two orbs. One shows the scene, the first scene. One shows the second scene. One in one reality, Ravonna died. In the other reality, she lived. He's holding the two orbs that show kind of like crystal balls that inside are still images of the aftermaths of each scene. In one, Ravonna is dead. One, she's alive. Right? And this is Eternity speaking. This is his dialogue. You have just witnessed a divergence, a splitting of time, or in this case, the splitting of a man. Here is presented a profound polarization of the darkness and light which is present in all human beings. This particular divergence is of great interest to the celestial beings because it provides an intense analogy of good versus evil in what was once the same man. Eternity closes his hands around the spheres and sifts sands out of his hands from the place where the spheres were. Pan slowly back to show his entire body. That was a close-up. Now we're panning back to show his entire body. And he outstretches his arms. He said, I am eternity, and these. And he's outstretching his arms, and in their wake streams an outpouring of shining stars that appear to be falling from him. So I am eternity, and these are the sands of time. Pull back, flourish in the Avengers logo. You know, this. That's the title sequence. Then we're fading away from that. Here comes the Avengers logo, which would probably be like a 3D sculpture of the Avengers logo flying in. And then Act 1, and then Master of Time, the title of this installment of the live action series. And so that's my premise. In the comics, they had one primary king. He was Ramatut, and then he went on to become king, and then he went on to become Immortus, and that's it. I've got two kings that were split at a battle that I made up, the battle that never happened in the comics. It's all mine. A battle that I called the Battle at Doomstadt, wherein Nathaniel was trying to save his love interest from his asshole cousin, and who was arranged to marry her. And in one reality it went well for him, and in one reality not so well. And so now we've got two kings, one of which is insane and is trying to kill the other king and steal his Ravonna, and he doesn't mind destroying realities to do it. Marvel wishes they were this good. They just don't know. They just don't know what they fucking passed up, man. The opportunity of their lifetime. I was not asking for me. I was offering. I was not asking, I was offering. I was offering them the best fucking thing that ever damn came their way. And they fucking pissed on it. Well, piss on them. You know, I don't need them. I'm better than they are. That's why I've come up with new characters. I've changed all the names. The story is mostly mine. It's only based on their characters. It's based on stuff that they only hinted around about, that beat around the bush about. I finished their incomplete stories for them, and now it's mine. You know, I changed all the character names around. I've written out as much of the Marvel material as I can, and still retain the integrity of the story, which is my story. And the Retaliators rock, man. I got that trademarked too. That's mine. I own that. I own the Retaliators. I also own a few other of the character names.